Okay, we're officially recording now. Hi, Whitney. Hope the little gets better. Do we know if this little is a boy or a girl? Vicki, do you know?
She only has girls.
Oh,
I'm assuming it's Emmy, just because she's usually the one that doesn't. I don't know. They both want mama when they're sick, but I don't know which one it is. She just has one of them home.
but they're all girls. So, okay. I scanned myself like right before I got on here, and it told me I needed Egyptian gold. So I put Egyptian gold on my hands, and it's very it's a potent oil. So I really can smell it. You know what's funny about Zoom is that you can't smell each other, right? Like I know that this room full of people is very smelly. A good thing, a good smelly, but like we can't smell each other. It's not like when you go to convention and like the whole room is on fire with the smells, all the smells. I'm like, where is that? What is that smell? I need that one. You know, I could just tell all around me. So funny. All right, how y'all
I'm gonna
feel?
tell you guys, I have clarity on, so just imagine that you smell.
God, no, I don't want to imagine that one. It's too much for me. Like it is.
You don't like clarity?
I can sniff it like once and then I'm like, back off. Oof. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a tough one. We accidentally put it in the truck diffuser one time for like a 4-hour trip. It wasn't great for me. I didn't actually like it. It wasn't a good thing.
Wow.
Okay, so you guys need to know about my retreat. Angie, you need to go because it's literally up the road from you, and it's an amazing, amazing place. It's beautiful. Tom is the guy that does all the things, and he's the most fabulous. They cook for you. We had fabulous meals. We had meditation 3 times a day in this beautiful room that overlooks like a little pond with the forest behind it. And of course, first day it was covered in snow. It was just with these giant windows, just beautiful there. And then they fed us well. And then we did the emotional release with Sunshine Goodfellow. I don't know if you guys know her. I know you do, Angie, but anyway, that's a pretty cool thing. Also, I know we talked about the emotional release and how we weren't real sure about it. This one was a little different, I think. I think it was more personal to the person that was on the table. She was on a massage table, and we were all basically observing the thing. And as she started to kind of work, she was like ready when she got on the table. I mean, she was already like, here I am, let me have it out, let's get it out. So she was ready for it. But then she just worked through some things. And then there was somebody at her feet also. So hitting the Vitaflex points at her feet with different oils. Like it's quite a process. I mean, it's a very interesting thing, you know, just the whole emotional release. It was different than the one I experienced in a room with like a whole bunch of people. This one, like I said, was very personal, and we had hung out together for, I don't know, not quite 24 hours at that point. And the way that this retreat works is like the minute you walk through the door, you're basically, you're all immersed. Like it's like, you're already retreated. Like there's not a lot of prep time. Like when you get there, it's just right now, you're just in that mode. It's just the whole thing is just that way. Fireplace burning, you take your shoes off, no shoes in the place. There's wood everywhere. It's so beautiful. I love the wood. Anyway, so if you ever have the chance to go to that place, it's a phenomenal place, and I recommend it. They don't usually do groups. They just do people. People just come in. I teased because we shared rooms. They had these really big rooms with these king-size beds, and I was like, in what other world do you go share a bed with somebody you literally just met? I mean, it's weird. So, but it wasn't weird at all. Like the setup was just totally fine. I got to meet one of my team members, who's from Pennsylvania. She actually hung out with me, and then there were 14 of us. So it's a really great place. So
Can you tell me the name of the place? Sorry.
It's called Timber Creek. It's in
Timber
Drexel,
Creek?
Drexel, Missouri.
Oh, it's in Missouri. Okay.
I think it's like, I want to say like 5 hours from you.
Yeah. Drexel, Missouri?
Drexel, Drexel. I've got information, Angie, if you need it. I can send you more stuff on it.
Sounds amazing.
It was so amazing and super reasonable. We talked about it would be an awesome place to go with your spouse, to just go. Everything's optional. You can get a massage if you want to. You can do one-on-one, basically coaching with Tom, counseling, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure. A couple of people did that. So anyway, one of the things that I loved about this particular deal is that he, when we first got into the meditation room, he does a little lesson, a little mini, like literally like 3 minutes, just a point. And the first time that we went in there, that first night, he said, we had, how we talked about the retreat thing being like, why do we don't like get away? Like he said, this is not really a retreat. It's a return. It's a preparation to return back to your life, as it were, to just renew and refresh and return back. So I was like, oh, I'm sold. Okay, you got me. I'll follow you. Whatever. I'll listen to you, because it was just, he spoke right to those things that we were talking about before. So anyway, okay. So this is our 4th meeting here. And I'm going to ask you some questions this time, because this is kind of that place where it's like, is it sticking with you, or where you at? What's going on? How's it going? But before we start with those questions, I want to get each of your input on how the affirmations have affected you, doing that every day or a lot of days. I know everybody hasn't done it every day. How has that affected you or not affected you, or just tell me about it. Tell me about it. Was it hard? Was it easy? All the details. I need to know all the details about it. Who wants to start? Oh, no.
All right.
Okay.
I already told you what I thought in the group, in the message.
She's the brave one. Yep, but I want to hear it.
Well, it's not every day was easy. No, some days I didn't want to do it.
Yep.
Anyway, I loved reading everyone else's, because I was like, yes, I picked that one. I picked that one. And Amy's
Amy's telling me she's having technical difficulties, so she'll catch us later. Anyway, carry on.
And I don't know, it was definitely the mornings that I didn't pick up my phone till later were not near as smooth as the mornings that was the first thing I saw. So that was a big, if I pinpointed a difference, that was drastic. And same with me, if I made my affirmation first thing in the morning, or if it was in the afternoon, it was like, oh, okay, now we're going to do this. So from that point forward, day was better. So it's one of those, for me, it's, again, creating more awareness where not perfect by any means, but there is more awareness of rejecting thoughts and saying, no, that's not what we're programming. I'm going to program truth and what I desire, and slightly change perspectives on a lot of situations. So.
Okay, cool. So I read that you in your response to Angie, I read it, but I'm literally like driving down the highway, so I didn't respond.
I was like, what does Gwen think about this? Why has Gwen said nothing?
Why? What's happening? I was literally driving, I mean, for like straight by myself. So when I stopped, there was not time to respond to such things. I didn't have time to like work through it. Anyway, I saw that you were feeling a little different with the stepkid situation and kind of responding to how the grades and their things are affecting you, how you're allowing them to affect you, I guess is what I kind of got, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
and has that been helpful?
Oh, after our conversation that's weekend, it's a huge thing. I've even said it to my husband multiple times. Babe, they are adult children. To make choices. I know they're not adults, but they're 16 and above. Like,
right.
They are making conscious choices. They know right from wrong. They're choosing what they're choosing. And for me, I guess the biggest thing is we've always parented kind of with hesitation because they have an out. They have an option to go to their mothers. And I'm just to the point now where I'm like, no more. Like, this is our home. This is what we stand for. This is who we are. I don't want my younger two to think that I have two different standards of what's not allowed because they're watching.
Right. Good
and
point.
So a lot of times, honestly, I look at my husband and I'd be like, so if this was Aisley, what would we do? And he was like, oh yeah, we wouldn't even hesitate. And I'm like, exactly. So
right.
We're going to have to just lay things down. And no, neither one of them are doing great at school at all right now, actually. It's terrible. But I'm like, whatever, which is not like me. Normally I'd be like, power school, looking at their grades, giving them their assignments, telling them they have to do them. And I'm just like, and so I printed them off, and my son came home from school. Well, he woke up, it was on Saturday. He woke up and I handed him to him. He goes, what's this? I said, it's your missing assignments in your grades. And he's like, my what? I said, you're missing assignments and grades. I just figured you might want to do something with them. Just really nonchalantly handed them to him. And then I went and got ready. About 20 minutes later, he comes in my bedroom. He's like, can you please hide my phone from me? I was like, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. So he sat and did homework all weekend. I was like, okay, so you're learning, you're kidding. But and the girl doesn't want to. And I'm just like, you're going to reap the consequence someday. It might not be for a while, but it's not my job to do it for you. And so that's been the biggest internal, to not feel that like I have to. And when you're like, oh, don't kid yourself. Your kids know exactly how to push your emotional buttons.
Oh yeah.
You're emotionally riled. They know you're going to bend, cave, or do something. And I'm just like, no, sorry. So It's been, again, there's moments where I am like, and I'm going to leave the room, or I'm going to say something not nice.
No, that's good though, because you're taking back your power to control your own emotions in that situation. So anytime any person, so we were talking about your coworker earlier, but anytime any person can affect you emotionally, like any person in the whole wide world, spouse, anywhere, they have just gained an element of control over you, because they are dictating, because you allow them, but they are dictating the emotions that you are choosing to feel. And so when you allow that, then they have a control. Now, depending on the person, some people are going to see that and be like, oh, I can push some buttons and it's going to be fun. I'm going to just play that game with them. And they will, especially in, Vicki, like your situation, because you have the step parent, the mom, the dad, all the dynamics of that situation. Kids learn how to get their way, basically. Did I tell you about my kindergartner that his dad came in and served detention? Did I tell you that story?
Yes. I think I've heard it.
Maybe I told you. So when I taught kindergarten, my kiddos had bags that they took back and forth because that was like, I put their papers in there. And then if mom had something to say, she put it in that bag. That I just checked it, that was the routine. So at the very beginning of the year at the, open house, whatever, I was like, this bag belongs to the child. Mom and dad, this is not your bag. This is your child's responsibility to get this bag to and from school, to find a place at home, to do whatever, but it is not you. If your child does not bring this bag back to school every single day, they will serve a detention for not having it back at school, so that they are aware that they need to do that. Just real clear cut, but I said, there's no excuses. You're not allowed to say it was my fault, I was late, I forgot to remind them, yada, yada, yada. Kids 5, they're plenty capable of remembering things. They remember to go to the bathroom when they need to, they can remember their bag. So anyway, this dad came in, sure enough, kid forgot his bag, and the dad came in and I said, sorry, he's got to serve detention. And the dad was like, but it was my fault. I said, no, it wasn't. It's never your fault. He knew that that was his responsibility. And so I set that very clear, made that clear, but he still felt responsibility because he, whatever, he was late or whatever. And I said, you're welcome to come in and serve detention with him. And so he did. So both the son and the dad came in and served detention. Funny because dad's like 6'4" and it was kindergarten. So he was in a kindergarten chair. But the clear expectation, the same rules for everybody, the standard, they know what to expect. There's no wishy-washy. It's the same when you have employees. It's the same when you have your own personal children. It's the same in all the things. The thing that we falter on the most is that we don't describe or put forth clear expectations, whether that's a boundary, whether that's how we're going to interact with somebody, whether that's what we're going to tolerate, or whether that's what they are required to do. That is like number one issue that I see over and over again. Parents do not establish a clear cut, this is how it is. And then number two is they get way too emotionally involved. It doesn't matter. If the kid has clear expectations, and they choose, mind you, if they choose to jack that up, if they choose to do something, right? If we choose not to pay our light bill, what happens? We don't have electricity. The light company doesn't care. You have to pay for it. So why do we not teach our children that right now? If you do something that is outside of your expectation here in this home, then this is the consequence, and that's that. I don't have to get mad. I don't have to get frustrated. It is what it is, right? And then it's consistent, and they know the minute they do the thing, they know, oh, geez, I should not have done this because, this is a consequence. Same for every kid, every time. It's your house rules, right? That's how I operate. And my kids know. I can look across the room at my kids. They crack me up because they're like, oh my gosh. I can look, and I have since they were little bitty, look across the room and put my finger up like this. And they know right now, they better shut that down. Whatever's happening, if it's clear, clear across the church building, clear across the park, whatever. If they see that, they know that they've gone too far and they shut it down. If they choose not to shut it down, they pay the consequence, right? So it's just standard all the time. You don't have to get freaked out. Okay, awesome. Angie, what have you gotten from all this affirming, all this happy affirming thing?
Oh, so much. Also, I just want to piggyback on her responding to my situation. It was really good. When I read it, I was like, no, that's exactly what I needed to hear.
Perfect.
And then I just I took some time and really prayed, and I really sat and I thought, this is something that I've seen myself do where I just want peace so bad in the house that, you know, I just want everybody to be on the same page and we're all going the same direction and we're all happy about it, you know? And, you know, that's not good. That's not good because, and I know that, but that's exactly what I was doing. I was like, I want him to be, I want there to be peace. I want him to quit, you know, going on about it. And I was like, no. And so even just an hour ago when I was sitting there having dinner with my husband, I was like, our teenagers weren't here, so we were able to have an open discussion. And I was like, you know, I was like, it's not my job to do that. I've taken on a job that's not mine. My job is to be confident in what I know we're supposed to do and just channel all of that positive energy and move forward. And it's okay if you don't like it. Like I have to be like, I have to take my hands off of that and be like, it's okay if you don't like it, you know, but it's, you know, like you said, that these are the consequences. If this is the direction we're going, I'm very confident this is what we're supposed to be doing. I'm not going to convince you. I'm not going to convince you. That's not my job. It's to persuade you to do things exactly the way that I see them. So anyway, that was very encouraging, and it led me to more thinking and more realization and more like, this is sometimes something that I do that is, you know, it's an unhealthy pattern. And so I saw that and was like, okay, I released that. I'm not going to do that anymore, you know, and I receive this new healthy pattern of, you know, being confident in the decision I've made, and it's okay if you don't like it, you know. I released that. So anyway, so that was really good. And if
that's a really good point, because you know, 7 times out of 10 our children do not like what we ask of them or tell them, or our team members don't like it, or our coworkers don't like it, or whatever. But so going to the horse thing, if you waver and if you whatever, the horse will kill you. But if you are very clear when you're training a horse, and you're clear, and they can trust you to always be consistent, then they develop a pattern of trust and comfort in the fact that they can trust that you're always consistent. Even if they don't like the thing that you're doing, they know, and they're very secure in the fact that it is what it is. The other thing that does is that when they come into a place where they really want an out, but they don't want to be like with their friends, but they don't want to be the one, they can be like, nope, my mom, there's no way. Like, it gives them, they can have an out, and by blaming you, which I'm all for, that's fine. If you don't want to do this thing and you need me to ride on so that it's not a thing right there, do it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the affirmation.
That's so good. Yes. So the affirmation, so good. I feel like I started feeling different. So, like after several days of doing it, I remember I just waking up and was like, man, I already feel like I've been out in the sunshine for a couple. Just physically, I felt different, and emotionally, I felt different. Within the 2 weeks, I had 2 really amazing dreams that were perspective changing for me. And that was cool. Because when I have these kind of dreams, they completely change. It's like it's huge growth in that whatever time frame of the dream. An amazing dream. And so then when I woke up the next day, I was like, wow, I had a huge perspective change. And that led me into writing that affirmation for that day. And that whole affirmation came from that dream. And I was like, wow, like I really believe that. I really believe it from the dream that I had. So, and also this is like, it's pushed me to do this with my team.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
2 nights ago, I put a thing out to my team, and I was like, we're gonna do a little challenge at the Mindset March, and this
Mindset March, I love it.
this is where we're gonna just pop in every day, and so I'm still trying to figure it out, but somehow I said I'm doing this thing, the mindset group that I'm doing, and but I want to do it with you guys too, because I want that same momentum and that same, like let's cheer each other on, and so that's another thought I have when I'm with you guys, and I'm like, oh, I want my whole team to get a taste of this. So I don't know what that's going to look like, but and start that on Friday.
Very cool. So that's fun, and it'll be a little weird at first, probably, because they'll be, you'll have some members of your team that are experienced in the mindset place, but then there'll be others that are a little weird, like, I don't know what you're doing, people. But they'll catch on. They'll feel the flow. The ones who are going will go, and it'll be great. Like, you guys have amazing, amazing affirmations that you've been working through. I mean, like, so good every day. And really what I would tell you for, Sue, we'll get to you in a second. What I would tell you for next week is to pick one of those from the last 2 weeks and sit with it and say it every day, twice a day at least, and roll with it. The one that you need the most or whatever. Katie is driving. She messaged me. So what we're doing is going through all of our, I'm hoping that you saw all the affirmations that we did in the messenger group. And we are going through how that's affected everybody, basically reading through those, Katie. So, Sue, you're muted. There you go.
I liked the commitment part, to say every day I'm going to do this in the group.
Gotcha.
And I think it was the group that kept me accountable.
Right.
I don't know that I would have necessarily done that every morning for the day if I didn't feel like it was supposed to be done in the group. I think for me, because I'm still kind of new to this, I felt like, where do people find all these words that that are just so wonderful? And I'm like, I want to be confident.
I think you did a fabulous job.
I just feel like I'm like, just to the point and I'm done. I'm not I can't expand on it. I feel like I can't expand on it as much, but.
You don't have to.
Okay.
It's not required. I mean, your affirmation can be, I am calm, cool, and collected today. That's it. It's all it needs to be. Like, it's yours. It belongs to you. So if you are simple, like, say it like you mean it and be done, then that's what you do.
But I did enjoy reading everybody's, and they do. I mean, I could certainly put that as part of mine for the day. Everybody else's, but I just felt like, gosh, these people, they can write books, and I'm just this little baby piece.
The little baby piece is perfect. I mean, seriously, like, sometimes people just get that feeling and there's just words, like they just write, they can just do it. And really, if you go back, you'll see, like, some days the same person was a long one, and some days it was like real short, so it just, that doesn't matter one bit. I'm kind of to the point on those kinds of things also, on those things, not other stuff, but on those things. Anything else for the affirmations, what it did for you?
Well, I think it made me think about what I wanted that day. It's more of how I wanted that day to go, and to think about what was coming up and how I wanted it to be. Today was payroll, and we're struggling at work, and so I'm just I don't know, somehow be able to breathe life into what was going to happen today. Didn't exactly turn out the way I wanted, but it was better than it was, let me tell you. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, because that's the deal. You're setting your intention for your day, which not everybody did them first thing in the morning, which is fine. But as you heard Vicki say, when she did set the intention for the day right away, it was easier. She, you know, it worked out better for her, all those kinds of things. Most successful people, one thing that they all pretty much have in common, you know, all the people that I've studied and whatever, they're very routined in the morning. Maybe not the rest of the day, but very routined in the morning. They get up, they do their thing for the first, whatever, 30 minutes or whatever. They typically get up at the very same time every single day. They typically have the same basic routine, whether that's they brush their teeth, they get dressed, they do whatever they do. It's very much the same, but it always involves an element of something like meditation, prayer, gratitude, journaling, a little bit of study time. It always involves just those elements somewhere along the way. So the affirmation is in line with all of that. Is if you can start your day in the same way, it's just like we were talking about with your kids. You're setting the expectation for yourself. I have an expectation for myself and where I want to go with this day, right? You've just created consistency. You've just created, and it's oddly enough, it's a way to make yourself comfortable. It's a way for you to not feel the chaos of the day as much. It's going to show up, but you're better able to deal with it. And so this next week when you do the one, it's going to hopefully be a little more all-encompassing and not quite as specific as some of them were. But but you'll be able to bring that up when those situations arise.
Right.
Y'all ever heard of like pray without ceasing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's it. That's it. When that stuff happens, you have a tool. The tool is, I know it. I know what I want. I know that's a consistent thing all the time, unchanging. That's where I'm going with it. And then you can really like bring yourself back in. You reel yourself back into, you know, whatever was happening crazy out here. It's like grounding, you know, you just bring yourself back in.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Katie, can you talk or are you not talkable? Let's see if she comes on. No, she's driving, so I don't know if we don't want her to wreck. That's not a thing. She's not muted though. I wonder if she's not even, I don't know. Okay. If she pops in, we'll get her. Okay, are you ready for the heavy duty questions? Are you ready? Vicki's laughing. Angie's like, bring it on. Bring it on. Okay, I'm going to ask them a little randomly, and what I want you to, I think the way I want to do this is I'm going to ask the question and then I'm going to ask you to answer it if you'd like, out loud. So, you know, this is a safe group. If you only heard about the things that we were talking about this weekend in our little safe group, this return retreat thing, trust me, this is a safe group. Like, it's not going to go anywhere. So whatever you need to say, it's right here, except Amy and Vicki. No, Whitney, sorry. Okay. All right, here's my first question. Since the beginning of time, since the beginning of this group, or even further, however you want to do it, what significant change has happened in you? What significant change has happened in you or for you?
I feel calmer. Drastic, drastic difference. My internal is not in chaos. There are still moments, but it is, that to me is probably the biggest, most rewarding thing from this, that I am just like, and letting go of control even more than I ever have, being a recovering control freak. Like, but it's rewarding. It's so rewarding to be able to not feel like I have to hold on to everything, that I can just let it go.
It's like you can breathe almost, huh?
Mm.
Yeah.
And to not hold myself to such scrutiny as far as like perfection. Like, that perfection's never asked of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be able to give myself maybe a little bit more grace of being like, okay, well, that was horrible, but oh well, onward we go, instead of dwelling in those moments. Because yeah, that has, and to not let, like, one thing, you see, I'm on like the fourth thing now. The outside circumstances, they truly don't affect me near as much. There's been a few times where like my brain starts to go down this path and I was like, nope, I know I didn't do anything to offend, bother. Whatever's going on is in their world. Nothing to do with me. Therefore, giving me the peace and the calm and not the chaos inside.
Yeah, and you're realizing, it sounds like that they don't control you. I mean, you don't have to let them control you. It is what it is outside of you. Yeah. Awesome. Anybody else on that note? Significant change.
Yes, I will go.
Okay.
It's hard to say one thing.
Well, you do have a little longer track record, so we'll give you that. We'll give you that.
Okay, thank you. I mean, this is my second go around. Something is working for me, or I wouldn't be here.
Something is, yes.
Something is working, and there's just so many things, but like, I want to say, what kept me like pursuing it was that I had, and I know this sounds weird, but it was like I had a new hope. I had a new hope. The only way I know how to describe it, like I felt it. I was like, this is gonna work. Like, I know it. I feel safe. I felt safe with you, Gwen. I really feel like I put you under the grill a lot. I was, like, who is she? And
no, that happens.
like, and I mean, if somebody's going to be speaking into your life, you really should.
Absolutely.
Yep. A little bit, but anyway, but I was like, and that was something that happened. The first group was that I felt like you were giving us permission to believe, and I share that with you, permission to believe and move forward. I don't know, just permission. And like, there was all these things in me that I wanted to say yes to, and that I wanted to believe, but just fear, I don't know, just so many things. So most of my life I've dealt with, I don't know how to describe it, but just like panic, I guess, where, you can spiral or you can not spiral, but and so I've really worked hard at that and stuff. And really, since we've been doing this group, that has just, I feel like I'm getting real healing, but it's piggybacked on a lot of things, but I don't know. I have so much to say, and I'm really trying to. So I will say, like, I felt like I was doing good, and like high vibrations, and you're doing good. And as you talk about, like, you ride the wave and then coming in, and I think there's always for me that fear, like, am I gonna fall off, and kind of hit a lull somewhere in January where I allowed other people's garbage to affect me. It wasn't mine. It wasn't even mine. But it made my mind go down that path where I've been there before, and oh my goodness, that was horrible, and I'm re-feeling those emotions and all that. And I immediately was like, I'm going to go for a walk. Go for a walk. And I went for a walk, and I was like it was like, I was crying, but like, I was like, no, we're not going there. This isn't me. I have new tools in my tool belt. Sorry, somebody is printing something.
That's fine.
I'm speaking. My son probably.
From somewhere.
So it was so beautiful walking through that. No, I did not fall off my surfboard. Like, it was just so beautiful. And I even had this thought the other day, just hit me, and I was like, I am so grateful that I have been through feeling like this and feeling these emotions and feeling like they were out of control, because now I know the other side. And I'm being honest, like, that's it. Like, if somebody were to ask, like, why are you paying money? That's a lot of money, or whatever, it really works. It really works. And so, I'm not even kidding. Like, that's just huge. So I feel like I have hope. I feel like I keep, the things that I'm proclaiming over myself and my affirmations and all these things, like, I'm getting answers. Answers are coming to me. Like, you guys, like, at least a dozen things have happened where I have found answers to health issues, things that are helping me that maybe I've had most of my life. Even answers to why I struggle more with panic. Like, God has showed me, like, it's it's a supplement issue for part of it. Like, I was like, all these years, and I've started doing a routine of supplements, and helps amazing. And I'm like, but that didn't happen until after this. Mm-hmm. And I was doing affirmations and really, like, seeking that out, and like,
yep, that's the key. You're looking.
I am healthy. One of my affirmations is, I am a positive, abundant, healthy magnet. Like, I attract all good things to myself. Mm-hmm. When I don't, then I release it. I release all disease, and I receive all the health. Mm-hmm. I'm doing them, and stuff is happening. It's not like, oh, that's nice, that feels good. No, it's actually, there's change happening.
I love it. I love it.
My whole life. So that's why. Okay, I'm done.
No, I love it. It's so much, like, for me in my seat, it's like, you don't know how many people that I work with or talk with who, boom, like, don't pull it in, don't rein it in, and don't do what they're capable of doing on the mindset front. So when people get it and get it long term, it's like eating chocolate cake for me. Like, I love that. That's like the best thing ever. So I like it. Sue, did you want to answer that one, or did you want to move on to the next one? Next one. Okay. Okay. All right. Ready? So here's the one. What scares you? What scares you? Whoever wants to answer it, just jump on in if you'd like. What really scares you? This is a little harder one, because it means that you're going to have to be a little bit vulnerable in order to answer that one. I'll tell you what really scares me. What really scares me the most out of all things in the world is being unproductive, is not being able to do all the things that I know that I'm capable of doing, of not being able to affect change in people's lives, or not being able to have the people have to pay me in order for me to invest the time in this, right? Like, I mean, I can't do it's just one of those things. Well, that's a tough cookie. People don't want to pay me because it's a foreign concept and it's a, whatever. So, so for me to be limited by the fact that there's, how do I work through that? And how do I do what I know I need to do in the most productive way and also eat at the same time? So for me, that's that feeling of being unproductive or not creative is like, I mean, you might as well cut my pinky toe off. Like, I don't like that. That's what scares me, is being in that place where I can't do the thing that I really want to do. All right. Anybody else on the scary part? What scares you?
It might be all the words that come to my head. I'm like, but I'm not anymore. No, I can't say that.
I love it.
No, I can't anymore. Like, failure, I'm not afraid to fail. Like, whatever, we'll move on. Like, and then not meeting other people's expectations. No, really don't care about that anymore. So like my go-to like responses, I was like, no. So I have nothing. So I'm gonna really think about it and soul
That's
search.
good.
What? And not that I'm not scared of things, but like my go-to answers, like if I really sit with it, it's like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm not. So I can't write that down.
That's okay. That's good. That's good. That's, reaching those places where you hit that next level of awareness that you're like, that's good. That's a good thing.
I mean, I know there's something, but in this
I'm
moment,
sure.
I'll tell you. So I will answer that over the next 2 weeks.
Love it.
I would agree with Vicki. It's like, well, like I had just mentioned all that, but I feel like I've worked through so much, it's not so big anymore, but like, we were talking about the Enneagram stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm an Enneagram 7, I guess. But what's funny when I read that, I read some of the stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's really like, it really describes me. And so one of the things is, they value freedom. I value that, but I like to be able to leave a situation when it is negative, because I don't want to getting stuck. I don't want to go there. So being scared of not being able to manage a situation, to being trapped, scares me.
Feeling like you're not in control of your.
But being trapped with someone who is, vomiting on me, or like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that really does, it does. My heart starts to race to think about that. So
interesting. Not being able to escape. Yeah. All right. Okay.
I'll go.
Yeah, let's hear it.
What scares me is being able to articulate. I feel like sometimes my stepdad used to say my tongue gets wrapped around his eye teeth, so he couldn't see what he was saying. And so sometimes I feel like when I speak, I get all jumbled up. So I don't know that my fear, I can't even say public, it could be public speaking, I don't know. I feel confident in myself. I mean, I have the ability to do what I need to do. I get a little fearful at work if I were to mess up. Nobody wants to make a mistake. But I do know that when I'm with people, like even if it's just you guys, I feel like I can't say what I don't even, maybe it's because I don't really know what I'm feeling to put it out into words. But I don't know if that's a fear or not. But yeah, and it is a little uncomfortable to know that, okay, you're waiting for a response from somebody, and I want to jump in just because I don't like the silence. But yet, once I jump in, then I'm not sure what I'm saying anyway. So then I sit back. But when I'm in a group, I'm usually an observer. I'm not really taking charge and trying to whatever with the conversation.
Is it like a fear that somebody will think that what you're saying is like wrong or not important or something like that, kind of? Or is it just more like you're less able to express yourself in front of other people clearly?
I think I feel like I'm less capable of expressing, like you guys. I mean, you're like, yeah, and I'm feeling I can't do that. You know, I
totally can do that.
get it out. And then I guess sometimes maybe feeling like a little inadequate to somebody else. You know, if I'm jumbling over my words and I'm saying something stupid and, you know, you say the wrong word for the whatever. And so I don't know. I don't know if it's a self-confidence thing, although I feel like I'm confident in stuff, but I don't know.
Well, I think that it does stem from, you know, having a little confidence issue, like a little concern that somebody will think something unkind or something, you know, that they're not seeing you as what you're truly capable of just because you're having a hard time getting the words out, you know, kind of thing. But one thing that I've totally learned in all the things that I have done is that if this helps you or not, is that it's totally okay to pause. We just, you know, and we jumble over our own words typically because we're afraid to pause. You know, we're afraid to take that minute to kind of gather our thoughts and say the thing. But it's totally okay. As I watch other people or even people on stage, that's where I learned it, is when I'm on stage. I can't pause. They'll think that I'm not talking, you know, whatever. But it's perfect. It's fine. It gives the audience a minute to think about what you said, you know, all the things. So that little tip has helped me a lot. Like, it's okay to just pause. Nobody will go away from you. There is the risk of somebody jumping in on you, because there's always kind of that person in the room, but worry about them. All right. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So let's flip that around and let's say, what makes you feel the most safe? What makes you feel the most safe? Could be a place. It could be in the presence of somebody. Could be comfort food. Fried chicken. I don't know. What makes you feel the most safe? It could be a smell, for sure. All those oily people. Isn't it interesting that it's so much easier to know what we're afraid of and so much harder to know what makes us feel safe?
All right.
Never mind.
Oh, no, Sue, you go. I'm waiting.
Yep. Gotcha. You're up, Sue. She's waiting on you.
I was just going to say, to me, the most obvious to me is just to be home where things are normal and routine and not outside anybody's your comfort zone kind of thing. You know, in bed with my, you know, Bible or book or whatever, and So to me, that to just, I guess what's normal and what's routine is safe to me. I don't know.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That's a great answer. That's probably typical of 1,000,001 people. Mm-hmm.
Good job, Sue. I don't feel unsafe very often. Like, I'm not one that panics when I travel. I'm not one that it's just not. So to answer that, like the most safe really for me is probably, how do I put it into words? I feel safe when I am emotionally healthy. Like, I don't know, it's like, if my emotions are off the track, that's when things are like uncertain. And then it's this, so whether it's clear expectations is great for me. Because I know those are the moments when it can shift my emotions drastically. If it's like, this is supposed to happen, and then I'm fine if things change, but like with zero communication and then it was totally unexpected, then that creates some insecurity in the situation. So what makes me feel the most safe is probably consistency. Yeah. And then like my husband makes me feel safe. Like, I just, no matter what, I know that, like, because when he's gone, guess what I do? All the doors are locked. When he's home, the front, we never lock our door. I live in the middle of nowhere. Like, why would I lock my door? No one's coming here.
Same.
But when he's gone, it's like every single door is locked. And I'm like, really? Because no, but it doesn't matter. So obviously, he makes me feel safe.
Right.
Also.
Same here. Yep. Oh.
But those would be my two answers.
Okay.
So.
I would agree with Sue and Vicki. I mean, I don't, even though there's the panic thing, it's irrational. That's my deal, is irrational stuff. Actual things happening don't usually give me, like, I love tornadoes and I love excitement. So anyway, definitely my husband, definitely. Like, he was out of town the other night and I was like, oh, like I was like, I need to go make sure the doors are locked and who's gonna make me coffee in the morning? And I'm a kept woman. And I was visualizing, my parents' house and, as long as I can escape if things go south, then I'm good.
She's narrowed it down. I love it.
I love to sleep, and so I was thinking about my bed, I'd sleep. I have a weighted blanket. Have you guys heard of those?
Love it. Mm-hmm.
Love
I
my
don't
weighted
have
blanket.
one, but I love
Well,
them.
when I get under my weighted blanket, like, that is like the best feeling in the whole wide world.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels safe to me. So
Awesome.
I don't know.
Awesome. I mean, I definitely would have to say that I feel safe. I go lock all the doors too. I mean, we leave home like for the whole weekend and don't lock our doors. But when he's not here, I lock all the doors. Like, I mean, I have a whole alarm system and the whole thing. Never turn that thing on. But anyways, so definitely that. And then security or safety for me is knowing what's coming. And unfortunately, that does not always happen, but that does make me feel quite safe. Even if it's a challenging thing, or even if it's something that's a little, the idea of the thing itself is a little scary, it's fine if I know what's coming. Like, that's my thing. I don't like not knowing what's coming, although I recognize it's a necessary thing in the whole wide world. But anyway. Okay.
Those are the words I wanted to say. So thanks, Gwen.
What's that?
I agree with you 100%. That's what I'm like, I don't know how to put this into words. That, like, knowing what's coming, because yes. Thank you for clarifying my thoughts in my
You're
head.
so welcome. The fear of the unknown. Yes. Okay. Okay. Last one. Think hard. Think hard. Maybe not the last one. I might have one more. We'll see. Who are you? Who are you? Can you put this one into words, folks? This is the big challenge of the night. Who are you?
The first thing that came to mind,
Mm-hmm.
because I say this to myself all the time, is that I'm a child of the Most High God.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. Mm-hmm.
Now, outside of that, I mean, you know, all the literal stuff, you know, wife, mother,
Mm-hmm.
good employee. But to get inside my head and say who I am, I don't know.
It is a little challenging for sure, because we don't often allow ourselves to think about this. This could be a fear.
I mean, I could go into characteristics, I think, you know, like to say I'm sensitive and I try to, you know, put myself in other people's place when I'm listening to them, kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You guys are going to, when I tell you my answer, you're going to be like, what? Okay. Anyway, so, okay, I'm not telling you until we hear the end here, till the rest of you. Was that it, Sue, or did you have something to add to that?
That's
Okay.
good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
What do you think, girlies?
Okay, so, you know, I love the Bible. I love God's word. I really do. And there's just so much in there that tells us who we are in Christ. And so that's where I gravitate to. And I'm with Sue, and that's when you said that, I was like saying it in my own mind, because that's what I say too. And I'm looking for something in my notes. Sorry. Okay. So, you know, I have been going through, and I have all of these written down in here, just with scriptures and stuff of what scripture says we are, ones that really stick out to me, or that maybe I don't believe it. Like maybe I'm like, I don't really think that that's me, but God says it's me. And I need to speak that over myself more. I need to pull the whatever out that's opposite of it and put that one in. And so
I call that channeling your inner Jesus.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. And so some of my favorites, so I am taking every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. I'm living by faith and not by sight. I am rescued from the dominion of darkness and transferred to the kingdom of Christ. I'm a new creation. I'm the receiver of peace. I'm healed, of course. I love that one. I have the spirit of power, of love, and self-discipline. I am transformed by the renewing of my mind. And I say that one a lot. A lot. And working, like, it's transforming me. So those are my favorite I ams, and those have become and there's more. There's a whole lot more, but those are just some of my favorites.
Okay, awesome. Vicki, did you want to share with us this time?
The first thing that came to my head, because I led a song in worship this week. I am who you say I am. Like that was my first thought. So it made me chuckle, but I wrote down I am strong, and then of course I go with a mom, a wife, a friend. This is one that God has spoke over me multiple times, and I was like, no, I'm not. And then I'm like, okay, yes, I am. So we finally have accepted it, because he knows to nudge me a lot, because usually need a lot of nudging. I don't usually listen the first time. I need a lot of nudging. And that I am an encourager. And then one of the lines in that song, and in this weekend, one of the verses that they shared before we started church was like, I am chosen. And this guy, he went into detail. I mean, he shared, I don't even know where he read it, but that he chose you, like me. He chose Angie. He chose Sue. Like he chose me. And not like we're a chosen people, but like it's intimate. And so if he chose me, then he has a purpose for me. So I love saying that I am chosen and that I am who you say I am, because some days we don't believe it, but he is truth. So we'll continue to say them. So.
Okay. So you guys gave me a lot of what you do. I'm a mom. All those things. Those are the things that you do. Those are not things that you are. Just want to clarify that for you. I want you to think differently about this for 1 minute. Okay. Those are things that you do, right? Characteristics are things that are about you, to describe how you behave. Those things are the things that describe your behaviors. Okay. The I ams that a lot of you were describing are not I ams, they're God ours. Right? I am chosen. That's a thing God did. That's not a thing you did. So you see where I'm rolling with this a little bit here? Okay. So who are you? This is a really this is a very challenging one. And I'm saying all this lightheartedly. I've been through this before. So, I mean, this is all people do this. They describe who they are characteristic wise. I'm loving, I'm fun, I'm whatever. They describe who they are in the sight of God. But that's him, not you. Okay. And then they describe themselves, all the jobs that they do in their life. Those are typically the 3 big ways. Okay. So knowing all of that, and I could go through all those things too, but here's how I describe myself. I am a spiritual being living in a physical body, having a human experience. I am a spiritual being. I have a spirit. I live in a physical body, having a human type experience. So now, my big question to you is, do you get the difference? Or do you have any questions or comments about that whole situation?
I've heard that before. Obviously, I didn't write it down and sink it into my. I love it. It is such a good perspective to. I'm probably going to write it on a card and put it somewhere where I can see it every day, because it just changes the perspective of everything, priorities, all the above, because you can get so focused on the who we are, as far as what we do, characteristics, all the things, when that's not who we are. It's what we do, or what we've learned, not who we are. So,
yep. So
love it.
Going back to the mental master drawing here. I am a spiritual being living in a physical body, having a whole human experience. So the human experience is the thinking part, right? Because nobody else gets to decide. I mean, no animals get to decide. Only humans have this power of decision making. Animals work, what's the word? reactively, like that's not the word I'm looking for. Instinctively, that's the word I'm looking for, right? They don't actually think. They don't rationalize and reason. So I'm a spiritual being living in a physical body, having a human experience. The concentrated effort here is the fact that you're a spiritual being. When you focus in there, number one, you're going to automatically connect with God. God gives you all those things so that you can connect with him. Like when, all the verses, all the things, he's like, listen to me, folks. I gotcha. This is like, are you hearing me? No, if you're not concentrating right here, then you're not hearing him, because that's where he talks to you. So when you concentrate on the fact that you are a spiritual being, all this other outside stuff really does not matter in the grand scheme of things. This is the part. I mean, I can tell you over and over in a million different ways why I say this. So all the things that you do every day, I'm a mom, I'm a whatever, that's down here in this physical part of you that's insignificant. Some people aren't moms and they're still great. Right? Everybody has the same spiritual center. Whether they choose to recognize it or not is up to them. But everybody has the same spiritual center. And then what goes in there is our ability to choose the things that we want in or not want in. Right? So that's the human side of us, those higher faculties, the higher mental faculties. My battery's running low, but I'm plugged in. Hold on. Why does it say I'm not plugged in? Oh, because the power strip's not turned on. That's why. Okay. Okay. So, do you hear me? Are you hearing me? Stop worrying about all the physically things until you first go to the core, until you first take care of that spiritual part. And that is where the rubber meets the road. Recognize the fact that you work from inside out. You don't work from outside in. And when you get jacked up is when you try. That's literally what happens, is when you try to work from outside in, or from the physical to the spiritual. When you try to do, I'm trying to be a good mom, I'm trying to be loving and kind, I'm trying to do all the things. Well, it's not going to happen. I mean, good luck. You might do it for a minute. But when you see and when you recognize who you truly are, the spirit of you, and you work from that place. I mean, that was one of the coolest parts about, I was at, this retreat thing this weekend, and that was one of the coolest parts. I've never sat and meditated in a room like that. That was a whole new thing for me. And everybody was doing their own thing. And I sat there with my eyes open because I was recognizing the God out in all the things, the squirrel running, the snow, the whatever. And I was realizing my own, the spirit of me is connecting with that, all the things out there, just feeling it, just seeing it, just recognizing that God's out there, God's in here, God's in the room. I mean, all the different people in there. So I will tell you, one of the things I did, you can think it's weird or not, but here's what happened. I just happened to know a lot of the women in the room already, and I know of their circumstances. I was sitting in between two women. We were on chairs. Some were on cushions, but we were on chairs. So here's what happened is I, in the middle of the meditation, I recognized that they needed something. I was good. I was in a good spot at that moment. They needed it. I could feel it. They needed something. So that's where I went to that spiritual part of me. And I was like, let me take their burden. God's right here with me. I got the power, whatever. They're working from outside in right now. They've got circumstances in their life that are painful, right? So pull it to me. So, I mean, I wasn't touching them or anything else. I was just sitting there saying, let me have it, release it, let me have it kind of thing. That energy basically is what it was. Let me take that energy off of them. just because I'm sitting right here next to him. Weird for me because I've never done that before. But here's what happened to me. I just felt it. I just recognized it. My entire like back and neck started to get super hot and get really like a lot of pain. Like as if I was literally carrying their pain on my shoulders for about 10 minutes. Like it was the craziest thing ever. But I was strong right then. I'm not always strong, but I knew it. They needed it. I was strong enough to hold it. And when the meditation was over, it went away. It just went away. So that energy, that thing, when you work from the spiritual part of you, when you hear and when you listen and when you connect with other people and you connect with God and you do all these things, like the power that you have to do things is, it's amazing. It's phenomenal. It's like, you don't even know, right? I just had the opportunity to be that kind of, I don't know, whatever it was. I never talked to them about that. This is the first I've ever spoken of it. They don't know. They don't know. But one of those women came to me later and like let it all out. Like, I need to talk to you. So whether that prepped her for that, whether that helped her to open up to the things, I don't know. But the whole point of all of me saying that is not to be weird or not to say that I'm some weird spiritual guru or anything. I'm not a monk. But what I want to say is that when you're literally working from the spirit as opposed to the physical side of things, it's not me, it's the power of that infinite source that is God. He can do amazing things. But he's only going to use you if you work from the spirit first. And that part's up to you. And that's a big part of what all of this mental master, all of this other thing is that you need to focus on the spirit. And it's odd because it's abstract. But if you do focus on the spirit, I mean, Katie can tell you, working with horses, like, you know, there's a different, like that the horse has a certain, it's not a human spirit, but like it has a spirit about them and they will operate in a certain way. And when they're, especially because she's competitive, when they're in the spirit of the run or in the spirit of the race, there's no stopping them. It's the same. When you're in the spirit with the spirit, magic. So that's what all this thinking bizwax is about, is to help you to be able to get there and not get all wrapped up in all the stupid circumstances. And I say stupid and I mean it. The stupid circumstances out there that we put so much weight on. It's ridiculous. And for me to have the opportunity to experience literally the weight of somebody else's burdens on my shoulders, I mean, it's a real deal, right? It's a real deal. Cast all your cares upon me. I know what that, I mean, I literally felt it in my whole body. Not really, it was just my shoulders, my neck. All right, you have any questions or comments on that whole thing? Woo! A lot.
I'll just tell you, I don't think you're weird. It's not weird.
That's good.
Nothing weird about that. Just clear that up.
It doesn't bother me if you do think I'm weird, but you know, if you do, it's fine.
I don't think you. No. Now, maybe before I started massage school and then got into oils, I would have thought you were crazy. But
right.
Because here's the thing, like you said, whether they accept it or not, whether they want to acknowledge it or not, it's there. It's like physics. There's laws of physics, gravity. I don't care if you believe it. Like, it's going to happen, whether you believe it or not. Like, there's laws of attraction. There's all these different laws. Believe it or don't. Doesn't matter.
Right.
They're there.
Right.
So no, those kind of stories just, I don't know, are inspiring, not weird.
I forgot that you do the massage thing. So the whole energy thing, I know when you do massage, you really pick that up from other people that you're working with.
Well, I'm retired from massage.
Oh, pardon me. Retiring.
But going through massage school, yeah, like, I took Reiki at the end of my massage world, but I could have taken it at the beginning. And if I would have been like, them all crazy.
Too much.
I don't know. But because you've worked on physical bodies, you physically feel things. They don't feel them, but you feel things as the body moves, as the body shifts. And if you're aware of it, like you can start taking a deep breath when like a muscle's going to relax, like you can feel the energy moving and flowing. And like I said, whether they want to acknowledge it or not, it's real. And going through massage school, like I felt it. So I was like,
yeah.
And there's been random experiences. Like I worked on my sister-in-law once and I was rubbing her neck and she just, seriously, her neck just started unwinding by itself. And she's like sobbing. And I was like, you just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. And she was like, what is happening? And I was like, your body's releasing something. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. It's okay. We're just going to keep going through this. But as simple as massaging her neck, she like emotionally like processed a whole like computer drive of stuff. And I was like, that wasn't my plan. I don't know, but we're just going to go with it. So.
Right. And she didn't have to have a big thing. Like, I'm going to go do an emotional release technique. Like it happens when it's supposed to. Mm-hmm. You just, okay. So the funny thing about Tom, who was at this retreat center, he's like, look out that window. You can see the septic out there. And he was telling us about how it goes back uphill. And he's like, here's the thing. The reason I talk about the septic is because y'all need to know that just like the septic, the shit has to get out. That's like the best analogy ever. It was like so great. So anyway, we were talking about emotional release kind of stuff. So yeah. Anybody else have any questions, comments? We're about done with our day today.
Yeah, I agree with Vicki. I didn't think that was weird at all. I loved it. That's all my kind of world anyway. I believe that God can heal you on his own. He can heal you. And I believe that somebody can lay their hands on you and you can be healed. Mm-hmm. Experienced that myself. Somebody's laid their hands on me and I was instantly healed. I've laid hands on somebody and I've also gotten pictures, real weird prophetic pictures. That's in our world. That's what we call it, but it's God. It's connecting with him and him telling you things and to love on people. And so, no, that's not weird at all. I love it. But that experience, I do extract, which is lymphatic detox. And when I was learning it, which was several years ago, we were extracting each other. So like a normal extract session, it's a normal session. And when I was up on the table, and so someone had been working on me. So I was probably getting maybe the equivalent of like 3 extracts, just because we were working on the technique. And so they were working on my arms and my legs and stuff. And then I got up and I was like, okay. I was like, it's hot in here. It's hot in here. Like, I'm going to go step out in the hallway because I was like, what is happening to me? So I went out into the hallway and I was like sweating and I was like, I'm going to cry. I'm going to ugly cry right now. I'm going to ugly cry right now. And what am I going to like? And I was like talking myself out of it. I was like, just get it together. And I was like, why am I doing this? I don't understand. So I kind of talked myself down, breathe. So I go back in there and like, we're moving around. We're about to do something else and everyone's kind of chatting and, and I'm like sitting over there and I was like, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. I can't go on. Like, I can't go on. And I was like, you guys, something's happening to me. And they were like, okay. So I got up on the table and had a whole, you know, and
Let her
they
loose.
laid their hands on me, they got the oils out, and thankfully, you know, like, that was not weird. I was in a very safe place. Talk about, whoo! I had not ever, that was huge. A lot.
That heat that you were talking.
Sister-in-law, Vicky, like, a lot. It was ready to go, and I could not hold it in, and I didn't want to hold it in. That's the thing. But I was kind of like,
right.
oh, like, I can't listen to anybody. I can't do anything. Like, this has got to go, and I need a little help. And it was beautiful.
That heat thing, that happened to one of the gals there. She's like, my whole body just was on fire like twice, and she didn't know what it was. And I mean, that was the same deal. Katie, can you talk to us? Oh, no, her phone's in the chat.
If I unmute you,
Huh?
or I unmute me. If I unmute myself, can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you like, what the hell is happening in this place right now? These people are crazy, weird.
Pretty much. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. I'm just listening.
You came in on parts of the conversation, so you'll have to go back and watch the replay so that you can see all the good parts. Did you have anything that you wanted to ask or share with us, or anything from did you see all the affirmations and things? You kind of missed that last time.
Kinda, I feel, but to be completely honest with you, I don't do a very good job of reading right now.
Yeah, it's tax season.
Next morning, I read a little bit sometimes, but I don't have a whole lot of time. So
yeah,
I need to jump on that. Maybe this weekend I'll have a day. I can.
Yeah, if you I figured it was tax season for you, that you're crazy busy, but if you get the chance, go back through the messenger thread like from the last couple of weeks and just pop in and see what everybody's been doing. The assignment was that everybody basically does their affirmations for the day. Some did every day, some did not, just whatever. Read through them. You'll enjoy them, and you might pick up some things that you could use throughout your own week,
Okay.
Yeah. How's everything going in your world other than taxes?
It's good. Other than taxes. It's good.
She doesn't know because it's all taxes.
Yeah, it's all taxes. I have a fraternity to go to next week, and I haven't even got to ride my horse, so I don't know.
You better get on. I drove through Abilene. I didn't drive through Abilene. I drove next to Abilene last night. That's where she lives. Abilene, Texas. Now she's locked up. All right, you're locking up, Katie. Okay.
Say what?
I said you're locking up. I drove next to Abilene last night. Oh, all right. Okay, girls. Anything else? Are we good? Are we finishing this situation that Whitney and Amy can catch in? Yep. Okay. Concentrate on the spiritual part of you. If you don't know how to do that, just keep. Okay. Number one, another thing I learned this weekend is be still and know. That literally means let go and listen. Be still means let go. It doesn't mean just sit still. It means let go. Let go of all the stuff that's clouding you up. Okay, you guys have a fabulous week. Pick one and kind of hang with it. If you need to post it in the group, then post it in the group every day. It's totally fine. Like if you need that accountability, then roll with that. That's what we're all about. So however you want to approach that. Also, as you know, everybody reads it and they're like, yes, apply that to my life right now. So it's very beneficial and helpful to do those things every morning and every night. And we will see you again in 2 weeks. Yeah. I mean, in the meantime, messenger up. Bye, guys.